Seawright, representing the Upper East Side, Yorkville, and Roosevelt Island. On behalf of the many thousands of voters here on the Upper East Side and Roosevelt Island, there has been abuse and mistreatment by the failure of the New York City Board of Elections to provide more than one single voting site here at Radnor F. Wagner Middle School. I hereby call on the Board of Elections and the election commissioners to immediately provide alternative voting locations for the 76th Assembly District that I represent. Extending hours Friday at this one location is outrageously inadequate. If alternative sites are not provided, I will look to initiate litigation in New York Supreme Court to require the City Board of Elections to open and operate such additional facilities. The patriotism and passion for democracy of the voters has been nothing short of incredible. But senior citizens and those with disabilities do not deserve to ever be treated this way. These conditions make a mockery of the Americans for Disabilities Act. Parents of school-aged children, including working women and men, should never have to wait for hours, many hours, on long lines like this. We need action now. We're exploring options. Marymount Manhattan College, which was passed over, volunteered their campus as a site for early voting and was passed over. I just spoke with the president, Carrie Locke. She has offered again Marymount Manhattan College on 76th Street and 2nd Avenue as an early voting site. I'm calling on the Board of Elections today to do the right thing, open more sites, and correct this problem. It is unacceptable. I'm here today with a senior citizen, Jane Voss, who will give you her reaction to this and her experience. And she is a voter and a constituent from the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I'm also here with my attorney, Stanley Schlein, who will be speaking, in our New York State Board of Elections Commissioner, Doug Kellner. Jane?
Hi, I really appreciate all the work you've done, Rebecca, not only at this crucial time, but throughout the many years. I'm 78, I'm disabled, I've lived in the neighborhood 51 years. This is a travesty. So many of my friends who are other old ladies like me have given up. They even brought chairs with them to sit on, but after the long wait, they just had to give up. So I'm not ready to give up myself, and I really appreciate all you've done, Rebecca, not only in this area, in many areas. So thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Voss. And our attorney, Stanley Schlein, we are preparing to go into New York State Supreme Court if this is not corrected.
The election law itself requires under section 3-400 that no voter shall wait more than a half an hour. They specifically state that in the law to exercise their franchise. This is beyond hours and hours of wait. This is a violation of the law. We will assert that if necessary in court if the Board of Elections doesn't act promptly to resolve it. Thank you.
Can you just spell your last name?
Schlein. Thank you.
Questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioner Kellner from New York State.
Just take this. So this is very troubling that the New York City Board of Elections would assign 120,000 voters to a single site and not provide sufficient equipment and personnel so that the voters can express their right to vote in a timely manner. Now, the election regulations explicitly say that the local boards of elections are required to add sufficient personnel and equipment so that no voter has to wait more than 30 minutes. And while it's clear that the boards of elections throughout the state have been overwhelmed by the level of interest in early voting in this election, which is the first presidential election where early voting has been available in New York. Many boards of elections throughout the state have responded to the problems by adding personnel, by adding equipment, and by adding hours. The New York City Board of Elections has added additional hours so that early voting will be open at 7 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, and that's a help. But in this particular poll site, so many voters are assigned that even opening with those additional hours will not give all of the voters an opportunity to vote without waiting in long, long lines. And so I join in the request that the City Board of Elections take up the offer of Marymount College, which is just 2 blocks away, to provide an additional site as the election law requires.
Assemblywoman, any
Any
conversation?
questions?
Sure, sorry. Any conversation with the Commissioner of the New York City Board of Elections about possibly working with Marymount?
We're pushing on all fronts about options. And we just learned that Marymount has offered their site, and we are waiting to hear from the Board of Elections before we go into New York State Supreme Court. We're pushing and we're examining all options. But just these new hours that they've extended is not a solution to the problem. And we are calling on an early voting site to be opened for Saturday and Sunday. And now we have the solution, Marymount Manhattan College.
Sorry, do you mind just coming up to the camera to give your full name again, please?
I'm Douglas Kellner. I'm co-chair and commissioner of the New York State Board of Elections.